Well, the happiest person in America today is Melania Trump. A sigh of relief, I believe she's breathing, because it's been said that she cried on election day 2016 when they found out that Donald Trump was elected president. It's been said that the only reason Donald Trump ran for election was to gain additional promotional value so that he could cross-sell a new media company he was going to try to market in the news system. Donald Trump has been quoted that there's no such thing as bad publicity. And he made a big portion of his quote-unquote wealth, even though we don't know it completely because we haven't seen all his financial documents, by branding his name. Because he lost a lot of money in real estate, but he branded his name, the name Trump, and sold that name to put on other buildings. And of course, he's most famous for being an entertainer on TV and firing people based on his evaluation and hiring his children to also evaluate how other people are working. And then he has the famous quote of saying, "You're fired." But I want to say one thing before I get into some issues I want to talk about. One is, I don't think that everyone who voted for Trump is evil. I don't think everyone who voted for Trump is racist. I know people who are black, who are Puerto Rican that voted for Trump. I know people that gave me job opportunities that voted for Trump. So I want to say that. Okay. Now I want to say that who the president is matters. It mattered under George Bush, where he almost destroyed the country. It mattered under Donald Trump, where I think the pain and the suffering he's caused. You say, Inspirational Nomad, he's not responsible for the coronavirus. He is not. But he is responsible for how he handled himself in those press conferences, on how he handled himself during the riots, adding hurt, adding inflammation, adding more division than less. Like a military general who's a Republican said, Donald Trump is the most divisive president ever. That's a Republican military general. He started his run based on firing people up emotionally. It started when Barack Obama was still in office, and he demanded to see his birth certificate. Okay. And the hypocrisy of him demanding to see it, and Barack Obama gave it to him, but he wouldn't give us his tax returns. Hypocrite. The next hypocrisy was he used the NFL players taking a knee, which is their constitutional right under the amendment, under the First Amendment, and he basically politicized that whole thing. And here is a guy who dodged the draft because he had a wealthy family. Didn't serve the military, he dodged it. And then he had enough spite and bad character to use that issue to attack John McCain, who served the country, was tortured in Vietnam, who saved the Affordable Care Act before he died. Okay, he voted against Trump, and who stood up for Barack Obama when he was, remember when John McCain was at a rally and there was this old white lady that said, "Oh, I don't, Barack Obama's the devil." He goes, "Not the devil, he just disagrees with me. We disagree politically." John McCain's a man of honor. Donald Trump will go down a piece of shit. It's true. Because you can have money, you can have power, and he may be right on some issues. But how he handled himself and what he did is a disgrace. And it matters. It mattered under George Bush. It mattered under Donald Trump. It matters. And I think to myself, what side of the issues would Donald Trump have stood on 50 years ago? What side of the issues would he have stood on 100 years ago? I think I know. And that's why it matters. So what other issues is he known for other than the Barack Obama birth certificate, and he didn't give us his tax returns, other than the politicizing of the NFL players taking a knee when he never served the army? He became a big patriot. He's known for the trade war. Okay. As we stand today, 4 years later, our country is in a bigger trade deficit than when he took office. We're negative 20% trade deficit with China than when he started. We are bigger in the national deficit than when he started. He increased military spending, but we lost to the invisible enemy because he didn't focus on healthcare spending. He's a bad man. Maybe a good promotional person, but a bad. Doesn't mean everyone who voted for him is bad, because there were some people who followed Jim Jones down to South America and drank the Kool-Aid. And years later, I saw the documentary. Years later, they said, that's wrong. And there's still some good people. I say, look, I just vote because I want less taxes. I want my gun rights, etc. And that's fine. And I'm not addressing them, but there's some people that overlooked a lot to get a lower tax rate and to get their gun. They overlooked a lot. And you can overlook some things because I'm for it, but it's the end of the troll era. Even now, as we speak, Donald Trump is being censored from Twitter, and thank God. Okay. Because there's no place for bullies. In high school or online, there's no place. Okay. You say, well, that's his First Amendment right. Well, yeah, did he stand with the NFL players for First Amendment right? He's not trying to encourage good debate. He's using false information for the empowerment of himself and his children, and he's hurting a lot of people. Donald Trump hurt a lot of people, okay, to get where he was at. And there's no excuse, guys. I make a lot of fun about rich, poor, and all that stuff so much. Edith, thank you, Gail. Thank you, Coconuts. I'm just not trying to ignore you guys. I'm just trying to get this off my soul. And again, I'm not trying to bash anyone who voted for Trump with good intentions, even if they voted for him twice. You know, I got to say, though, he's the wrong person. Okay. A person like that should never be in power. Never. You say, well, let me tell you this. Would you want to work for him? If he was your manager, would you want to work for him? No, you wouldn't. You may have voted for him, but you can never. I could. Guys, look. It's okay to have certain political views. You want, again, less taxes. You want less government. That's fine. Okay, fuck. I don't care. But I know that there was deeper issues that were voted on than conservative policy. And I don't like it. I didn't like it in 2016. And we're going to heal. Because, guys, look, this will probably be one of the last big political things I do until there's another political issue. Okay. But there is relief in America. Because Americans knew, even when they voted in, they were shocked, just like Donald Trump was shocked, that we were probably going to be in for some hurt. Okay. We knew something bad was going to eventually happen, just like when he built Taj Mahal, the beautiful casino. Like all 6 of his casinos in Atlantic City, they all went bankrupt. And I remember when Taj Mahal opened, I remember they said, wow, this is a great, beautiful casino, but is it sustainable? You're basically losing $1 million a day. And he said, don't worry about it. It's going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to make it happen. And just like when he took in office, said, don't worry, we're going to skyrocket the economy, skyrocket. And the only reason the economy right now is not in the gutter is because of government spending, stimulus. The Federal Reserve backed the bond market. They lowered the interest rate to 0. They sent out stimulus checks, and all the corporations got the backing they need. Okay. Government spending is the only reason why we are not in a depression. Okay. And beyond all the economics, guys, look, I like money and I like to live in nice areas. But I'll tell you this, money is okay to a certain point, okay? It's not okay to have to say, let's make this person in power. Let's make them a manager. Let's make them a director. Let's make, their policy's fine by how they treat people. Like I've worked with managers that they voted for Trump, but, even though they may be direct, they're not hurtful like that, at least not in their profession, So it's like, again, like I've met a couple great people, I don't know them in their personal life. Okay. But I know, like, in their professional life, they've treated me with respect. I've treated them with respect. And they may be upset tonight that Donald Trump lost. That's fine. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people that get in power and act like Trump. That's unacceptable. And no one should excuse whether it's for entertainment or whatever. Okay? Because that brings a lot of hurt. Okay? And that's unsustainable, just like Taj Mahal. And it prevents growth. There's no way you could tell me 100 years ago, 50 years ago, Donald Trump would be for fairness, civil rights, women's rights, gay rights. You wouldn't. No way. Okay. But beyond all that, just the hypocrisy of the issues that he made political talking points, but in his personal life, he didn't abide by them. In Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach, he hires foreigners, not Americans. Okay. And they get paid, I don't know what they're on a working visa, so I don't know, I guess they have to get paid minimum wage, $10, $12 an hour maybe. Florida passed $15 an hour minimum wage by 2026, and I'm thankful for that. And I don't think Joe Biden's the savior. I don't think, Barack Obama was the savior. But I think when you're at McDonald's and you have a choice to make between a Big Mac that's going to kill you and you go out in a blazing glory or a salad, what do you pick? Well, for me, I'm speaking from my own life experience. I started to pick the salad because after a while, I realized I couldn't sustain my life on Big Mac. I lived on Big Macs and fast food for many years, and I enjoyed it. And I remember I had a friend, he used to say, Sam, fat people don't get in shape by eating McDonald's salads. And I had to correct him. I said, brother, I used to be obese. And the first step I took toward a healthier life was ordering a salad from McDonald's rather than like a double cheeseburger. And certainly once you add the salad dressing and all that, it's probably just as many calories, okay? But it was a step closer to a better direction. And what you do is you build on those steps and you make a more sustainable, healthier life. You don't just take another drink, take another smoke, stuff your face. Why? Look, you have a right to do that, but when you're in charge of others, you don't have a right, or you shouldn't, leave a legacy of a disaster. He left Atlantic City a disaster. He left his country a disaster. He left his ex-wives a disaster. I think about what legacy is he teaching his children, his privileged children. Like, you can do whatever you want. I think it's a disgrace for someone to look up like that type of character. And it does matter. The president matters, the character matters, how you vote matters. Okay. However, again, not everyone who voted for Trump is evil, racist, or bad. And there are some issues on the Republican side that they're right and the Democrats are wrong. But like the military general said, I've never seen this divisive of a president. And it's a healing point. Now, will Donald Trump still fight? Look, yeah. And could anything happen from now to the inauguration day? Sure. The best part about America, like I say, even if Trump gets reelected or got reelected, he can only serve 4 more years. Now, I remember when George Bush Jr. got reelected, I said, I don't know if the country will be around. It was damn close. Barack Obama took over the country. It was in devastation. I remember working with people and they said, oh no, I don't know if I can keep the money in the bank. It's not going to be there. Guys, in 2008, the economy was horrible. We were in 2 wars. It was a disaster. It was a total disaster. Donald Trump talked about he inherited a bad country. Guys, the country was 200% better than when Barack Obama took it. Now, it's worse than when he took it over. But I feel better, knowing that type of person is not going to be in power. I don't feel like we're never going to have riots again. I don't feel like we're never going to have contentious issues. And in one sense, I do feel like the country almost needed to go through that 4 years of pain to experience it. Sometimes you have to experience that, Sometimes you have to take a step backwards to really know that's not the right direction. Sometimes you have to fall off your diet to know that's not the right direction. Sometimes you have to have a relapse to realize, drugs aren't the answer. Sometimes you have to go back to the unhealthy relationship to realize it doesn't get better, it only gets worse. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forward. But the troll era is over. It's not cool to be a bully. Okay. Now, again, if you want to be like a political head on the internet, on YouTube, on the TV show The Apprentice, I mean, look, that's acceptable because you're an entertainer. Okay. But when you're a president, there's a different protocol. Just like, guys, I always tell you, like, right, it's not my job to go to my main job and be a YouTuber. Okay. And it's not, the president should never be a TV personality. See, a lot of trolls just wanted to see the entertainment and the flames because they really don't care about this country. They really don't care about a better quality of life. What they cared about was being spiteful, vindictive, and fostering bad policy that left our country worse than when it started, just in the name of spite. Okay. Because if you really cared about the trade deficit, why don't you care now that we're in a deeper trade deficit? If you really cared about the national deficit, why don't you care now that we're in a different, a bigger national deficit? If you really cared about protecting this country defense-wise, why don't you care that 200,000 Americans died during the invisible enemy and only 3,000 died during 9/11? Why don't you care that the same level that Trump uses to measure others, he doesn't measure himself? See, for you to turn a blind eye makes me think, well, are you the type of person that you're going to be nasty to your children until they obey you? Are you going to be nasty to your workers until they submit to you? What type of person is that? It's the troll era. It's over. Now, what's not over is, look, political contentiousness, division amongst regular Americans amongst the world, and just life, because life's never going to be perfect on this world. It's never. So I don't think that like Trump is the responsible for every evil, but I think he fostered greater evil through his leadership. Okay. And there's a lot of people that say, well, look, the Dow Jones, well, guys, the Dow Jones tripled under Obama. You didn't care about that. So if you just care about the stock market, why didn't you care when it tripled under Obama? That's what makes me question some people. Technically, Barack Obama deported more people than any other president. So if you cared about strong borders, you'd say Barack Obama was the toughest ever on immigration. So, again, statistically, maybe people don't look at the statistics. They just look at the emotion. I think they do, and I think Donald Trump knew that. And I think that's why he waved the flag. I think he pandered to all the fathers out there that their children don't obey him. So they think if you're going to be more of a troll to your children, they're not going to want to be around you. Like, you don't get your children's love by trolling them. You don't get that girl's love. You get a restraining order. There are plenty of people that are restraining order. They got bad relationships with their children, bad relationships with their grandchildren, and they voted for Trump as a way to think like, oh, he's going to make people respect me again. No, you don't get respect by trolling. You get respect by giving, and sometimes it's not given back. You can't demand it. Now, you can put up boundaries. You can say, look, I'm not going to be, but you can't troll your way to prosperity. And maybe in this world, to a certain extent, you can. But then there's a lot of people that claim they have faith. Well, if you have faith and you believe in the golden rule and all this other stuff, I often said, like, if America was really Christian, we would have universal health care, universal basic income, because in reality, Bernie Sanders is more like Jesus than Donald Trump. So let's just call it how it is. Let's just say Americans atheists, and we believe that, look, guys, and I believe in capitalism, but I'm just trying to say that here's the point. There's no way you can proclaim Christianity when the character of Jesus, okay, is more closely linked to Bernie Sanders than it is to Donald Trump. So it's like, you got to be honest. That's the truth. So, again, I don't think all of the world's problems end today. Okay. But I feel relief. I think Melania feels relief. And to be honest with you, I think Donald Trump even feels relief. I think Donald Trump, I think he wants to work till the day he dies. They say that Donald Trump's father had Alzheimer's and he was a workaholic. And what they had to do is they had to let him come in the office. They gave him a fake telephone that only called his receptionist, and they just kept him busy until he died. Because he's that type of person. But there's a quote that just because you have high energy doesn't mean you should be hired. Because someone with high energy and bad character will destroy your company. See, that's another thing, like Donald Trump got elected on calling Jeb Bush low energy. But you don't want to hire a high energy person that has bad character because they'll destroy shit. A low energy person, a lazy person just won't do shit. A high energy person will destroy shit. So high energy is only good if you have high character and you have good points to bring a better quality of living to the masses. And let me tell you something, how you talk to people, like again, you could talk to people however you want on an entertainment platform, okay, because it's entertainment. On a manager level, a director level, on a president level, you're running for a different job. You're not running for the apprentice. You're running for, to lead the masses. And let me tell you something. He often said how he had record low minority and black unemployment. But let me tell you something. You can give low unemployment to someone, but when you treat them with no dignity and no respect, doesn't matter what the fucking unemployment rate is. You can't cut a check big enough to overlook how he handled, whether it's the riots or just how his character has been recurring pattern all the way back to the Central Park 5, where here's a president that believes in law and order. And the Central Park 5 were 5 minority kids that got charged with a crime. And before the trial, he called for their execution. So why doesn't he call for the execution of George Floyd's, the police officer that killed him? Because he doesn't care about law and order. He doesn't care about, what he cares about is himself. He doesn't care about the country. Because if he cared about the country, he'd say, whoever gets elected, I'll work with them. Just like Hillary Clinton called him that night and said, I'll work with you. Just like Barack Obama worked with him. He won't do that. And it's a racist undertone. It's a anti-religious, because again, if you think Donald Trump is a Christian, I question your Christianity or your faith. But that always left a disdain. We got record low, black unemployment, record low. This, how you treat people. Lack of dignity. You can't treat people with a lack of dignity. It's not right. It does matter. I don't want to hear the presidency doesn't matter. Guys, in my lifetime, George Bush Sr., Desert Storm, recession, Bill Clinton, overall prosperity, no major wars, George Bush, disaster, Obama, recovery, Donald Trump, spike and crash. It matters. Factually, it matters. Okay. If you're a police officer now, you're more unsafe than you were when Donald Trump started. There were more issues with police officers as far as, this is the first ever. We're talking about defunding. We saw a lot of bad things. Now, and Donald Trump said, well, we're not going to give money to certain states. Well, why do states need money? To fund police officers, firefighters, teachers? That's where they spend the money. Cops are government workers. Okay. So to me, if you're a police officer, Donald Trump hurt you. Didn't help you. Okay. To me, he hurt a lot of people that were in the Jim Jones church. They had a deep love maybe to balance out society, because society does need balance. You do need Republicans and Democrats, conservative, liberal. Statistically, the country does the best when you have a Democratic president and a Republican Senate. That's what we're going to have. Why? Because you need some balance. Okay. But you never need a man or a woman like Donald Trump in power. Okay, if they want to be a TV star, fine. They want to run. Well, look, I tell you this. You know damn well if you work for Donald Trump in a private business, you would secure another job until you can get the hell out of there. Why? Because you would never want to show up every day to that type of person. Look at the turnover rate in his own cabinet with his own Republicans. He fired just about everyone other than his children. Extreme nepotism. And if you're one of his children and you don't obey him, what does he do? Spite. Donald Trump's the type of person you break up and you got to change your number because he's so spiteful that he'll do bad things to hurt you because he doesn't love anyone other than himself. He's a sociopath and a narcissist. He's an ultimate troll. Mentally unhealthy. He's been like that since a child. Kicked out of school, went to military school, never served in military. Never worked a hard day in his life. Because hollering at people when you have inherited wealth and you know you never have to work again, you know you never have to worry about health insurance again, that's not, okay, working. Okay, that's just having fun with your sociopath mindset. Okay. And so I think there is relief in the country, definitely. I think a lot of people got exposed for the trolls they really are. Well, we already knew what they were. And I think there's some people that just got caught in the crosshairs. Because I do think there's a certain percentage that even may still now support Trump. They don't fall into necessarily this troll category. So I'm going to be fair. But I'm also going to be honest. Look, the majority do. Okay, I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, this is my opinion, this entertainment platform. I work with conservatives, Republicans, okay, and I love them. And I've probably been given more opportunity through maybe Trumpers than liberals. However, look, I still have to show up, and I've kind of had a reputation of being a positive person who works with all people and knows how to get along with people to get the job done. Okay. No, but who you are matters, man. Because look, guys, look, I can retire early, and you're not going to get everyone to like you. So I don't believe that Donald Trump is wrong because not everyone liked him. But look, you know how he handled it. It's more than just not worrying about people like you, because I don't care how people like me. But he went out of his way to fan the flames of division, just like the military general said. And when you're in that position, it's your job to be political. It's your job to bring people together. When you're a YouTuber, it's your job to just do whatever you do. Okay. When you're a TV star, it's your job to do whatever you do. You're an entertainer. When you're a president, part of your job is to figure out how can we calm things, not shut down the country, then liberate Illinois, liberate this. That was a disgrace. That was a disgrace. And he's responsible for that, not China. First he said the virus was nothing worse than the flu. And I think it was all right, but he totally underplayed it. Then he totally overplayed it, shut down the economy. Then he started talking about liberate states. Like crazy shit. That was his fault, not China's. But guys, how did he talk to China? Where did that get us with China? You tell me. Worst trade deficit. And look, guys, I think as a country we had to go through this. I thank God it's over. It won't be over till it's totally over, so we'll see how it plays out. But like I say, being a bully or being a troll, it wasn't cool when I was in middle school, and I got bullied until I started hitting back. And it's not cool now as an adult. I'm not saying you can't be a conservative and vote that way. But I'm saying even if you're a conservative and vote that way, just like Senator Mitch McConnell and all them, they bashed Trump before he got elected. Like fucking Ted Cruz, what a piece of shit. Donald Trump called Ted Cruz's wife like basically some ugly bitch. And Ted Cruz is the biggest ball licker. Like, I'll be damned. Like, these guys, and the Democrats do it too, but let me tell you something. They all said that Donald Trump was the biggest piece of shit ever. And as soon as he got voted in, they let him fucking do whatever he wants. Guys, like, I'm okay, Mitch McConnell, all these guys, they want to be conservative, Ted Cruz, but guys, there's no way you can, like, turn a blind eye to Donald Trump and let him manage people like that. That was a disgrace. You know, Ted Cruz is a disgrace till the day he dies. Even that blonde, skinny old lady that's Trump's manager. Did you see how Trump disrespected her husband? These people that have to go back to their family that's now divided to the day they die. Donald Trump brought greater division than ever internally. And I'll tell you this, I think he destroyed certain families. And I think certain people, their character will never be the same. And I think there's even a bigger, forget about Election Day 2016, 2020. I think, guys, look, we all need the grace of God to get into heaven. So if there's even a heaven, I don't even know anymore. But I don't know, man. It was, well, again, 3 million more people or something like that voted for Hillary Clinton. But Donald Trump won the electoral vote in 2016. This year, a lot more people voted for Biden. So I do feel hope that there's more good than bad, but I also see why it took so long to get rid of slavery, why it took so long for women to get their rights, because people will overlook certain things for money and for pandering to their own insecurities. It's true. And in the name of Christianity or whatever, because guys, how long did we say we're a Christian equal country? It's only within the past 50 years that we even started to even come close to live up to that. And I see why it takes so long, because there's certain people out there, they'll excuse a lot of behavior. And I say, oh shit, there are people like this. Because guys, you can be a troll and, you know, be successful. Now, eventually it comes crashing in on your head. And then everyone turns their back on you. Like now, guys, look, you see the power start to slip away from Trump. Okay. Now, everyone who was backing them regardless, they don't want to know him no more. They don't want to know you. You know, same thing with whoever's in power. Look, when you're in power, when you're the manager, when you're the boss, everyone wants to kiss your ass. True. And then when you get laid off, no one wants to fucking know you. Okay. No one wants to know you. Okay. So I'm sorry for being long-winded. I apologize to all my members and those who watch. Forgive me. Edith, I know you gave a super chat too. Forgive me. But I wanted to share some things. I don't feel like I got everything out that I was thinking about. So, but at least I was able to express somewhat the moment we're in. Again, I really don't desire to talk about politics that much. But I don't ignore them. You know what I mean? Like I see some channels and they support Trump and now all of a sudden they don't talk about politics. But for me, I'll talk about politics or religion because it's a huge part of life, but I don't get stuck in it. And I acknowledge that there's good and bad people on both sides. But look, the only thing I won't talk is home renovations. Okay. Don't ask me how to wire a three-way switch. Okay. Don't ask me what you do if you got aluminum wire in your house. I love you. And I'm just kidding. I would tell any of my friends what to do. But I'd rather talk about politics and religion than home renovations. That's true. That's why I'm a nomad. All right, let's take a hydration break. Thank you again, guys. I'm sorry for being long-winded. I try not to be that long. I want to say this too. Look, guys, it's not just white versus black either. Because let me tell you something. I remember going to a community center. There was this black guy there. He used to run a community center, part of it. And he was a conservative. He voted for Trump. And he was a piece of shit. I ain't like him then. I still don't like him now. Okay. And he ain't like me either. So what I can tell you is, don't fall for that banana in a tailpipe. So I remember, I don't know, man. I remember I just didn't get along with this guy. And I always knew, fucking asshole, man. So I don't take solace, okay, or I don't think, okay, that, I don't know, I just want to say that because I was thinking today of all the people that I know in my life of all different backgrounds, white, black, Puerto Rican, that voted for Trump or that are of that mindset. And there are some of all backgrounds, all religions. And I don't fuck with them. Okay. Now, why do I want to say that? Because some of them, I think they did great things for me. And I don't fuck with anyone now. But Like, I know some great Puerto Ricans. They voted for Trump. I don't know if they voted for him in 2020, but they did a lot of good for me. I was cool with them. So I don't want to say like that as a general statement. But I just want to say too, like there was people on all sides that rock with Trump, okay, or have that mindset. And so it is bigger than race. It's about like who you are as a person. And again, it's beyond policy. Well, I don't know. Policy plays a part, but again, like if you say you're Christian and you're for this or that, or you're equality, or you want to better humanity, you know, there's certain policies that I question, like why don't you support universal health care or universal basic income? Every other first world country has universal health care. Okay. You know, it's like, I don't know. Now, I don't know. It's all debatable, but I wanted to say that too. I just wanted to talk on that real quick because I was thinking about a couple people today, a few people. And I don't have bad memories of all of them. And I don't really feel like I want to, this video, I know it may seem like it, and I know people see the title, but it's not to spike a football in anyone's face. Because I feel bad for the people that genuinely, they just have some conservative policies or conservative mindset, but they totally disagree with Trump. So I feel bad for them that they get caught in this whirlwind. But I don't feel bad for the people that stood by and watched a lot of bad things. I don't. Because I don't know how you could turn your blind eye. I don't know how you cannot feel bad energy when Trump was doing his thing, man. Some of what he did was okay. But guys, I mean, and girls, I don't know how you could look at the past 4 years and in the moments where he needed to act, he didn't. Okay. Like, guys, it's like when you're at your job and there's not like you don't need to like show up, or like there's nothing really important going on. Like, but when you need to, now we all need grace. Because I remember there was a couple tough times at a couple jobs I worked, and I remember there were a couple Trumpers that they saved me, okay? They did something. So again, there's no like one answer to this equation of life. I often tell you there's no exact science to life, but there is science. There is, you know, a level of truth and a level of data being collected and analyzing what usually pans out. One more thought, and then we'll go live comments. Thank you for being patient. Temperament matters. Like, I know a lot of people hated on Hillary Clinton. They thought that was a pandering statement, but it matters. I remember when I picked out a dog. I bought a dog for my mother several years back. And she wanted a Boston Terrier. She likes that breed. And there was two of them at the dog place that I went to buy it. One of them had a nasty attitude. I remember taking her out of the cage. And the dog was a bitch, like little nasty. Didn't play well with my dog. My dog was still alive at the time. And the other dog I took out was very calm and, you know, agreeable and nice. And again, it goes back to there's certain people, they have certain personalities, just like Donald Trump was nasty even when he was a young child. He said he used to get in a lot of trouble. Now, people can change, but a temperament and recurring patterns, they're a sign that, look, someone can change, but most of the time they're just going to follow those patterns. Like, guys, when you go on a job interview, what do they look at your resume? Why? They want to see your recurring patterns. They want to see if you leave a job every year because they know you're not reliable. So your temperament and your recurring patterns, they don't define you as far as like you can't change, but they do give an understanding of how much risk are you? Okay. And once in a while you can beat the odds, but you can't sustain life trying to beat the odds. Okay. Just like you can't sustain a casino, just like you can't sustain management style like Trump. Because it's not a sustainable way of living. It's a spike and a crash. Temperament matters. Attitude matters. And when your job title is to be a politician, to get a level of a agreement and to bring peace and harmony, and you just want to just bring shit however you want to bring it, not good. Look, guys, I mean, and girls, everyone probably in this live feed had to work or is working at some point in their life. You can't just go to your job and just not give thought to how your actions are going to affect your coworkers and managers. See, I think a lot of trolls got empowered because they don't work or they got kicked out of the workforce or they're in the workforce and they're troublemakers. Now, not all, because again, I've worked with some great people, even managers that I think they're very conservative. And I can't make a general statement like that, so I have to pull myself back. But I think in a general way, you guys are getting what I'm saying, and I just speak about this. All right, we're going to low life comments now. Finally got it out. Coconuts, Biden for the win. That's how it looks like. Good to see you, Coconuts. Thank you again for being patient. I hope you're still in here, and thank you for everything, brother. I appreciate you. Gail, I love you. I saw your latest video. You're up to 441 subscribers. If you're not a subscriber to Gail Arnold's channel, please subscribe. I say her age not to embarrass you, but just to empower you. She's about a 68-year-old woman living in her Toyota RAV SUV. And she is living in Boston right now, and she's going to probably migrate to Florida in a month or a few weeks. You take your time, Gail, because it's still good camping weather up north. And what I could tell you, Gail, is go to Jupiter, get your storage unit cleaned up. Don't stop or don't stay in St. Augustine. Get to Jupiter. Put your goal and your objective in front of you. Your goal is to get to Jupiter. Even if you don't want to cancel your storage unit, at least get there. And at least go see it. And that way you trick yourself in your mind to have a destination. And I recommend you stay in those nicer areas. Why? Nicer vibe. It matters. Love to you, Gail. I'm very proud of you. You're doing a great job. Hopefully you get to 1,000 subscribers soon and you make some money. Hopefully our country turns around. Our country should now run so much smoother. What you want, I agree. Mainly what you want is not have to talk about politics every day. Every day we had to talk or think about Donald Trump. Not anymore, guys. It's not about him. It's about the country. So a good politician should be like a referee. Like you only really notice them when something big comes up and you need to hear from them. Other than that, guys, you don't want to hear from the referee every day. You don't want to hear from Donald Trump. It's all about him. Guys, I don't want to hear about that shit. Play nice with all the other politicians in Washington. Figure out some shit, okay? And shut the fuck up. Play nice, okay? Why? Because, guys, everyone else in this country, okay, unlike Donald Trump, has had to work for a living or is dealing with other shit. We don't need more shit on our plate, okay? We got enough for our own shit, okay? Okay? We got family members crazy. We got fucking, Planet Fitness showers aren't open. In Florida, they're open. Whatever. And again, like I tell you, I agree with some conservative philosophy. In some things, I agree with the governor of Florida, okay, who's a Republican. But even him, even though he's a Trumper, he's still handling himself a little bit better than Trump during the coronavirus, okay? So look, guys, you got to, play a little bit of the game because it's not just about you. Love to you, Gail. You're doing a great job. Edith, forgive me so much for taking time, but I want to thank you for that gracious tip on. Thank you for who you are. That super sticker, the wide guy dancing, that's me in the rain. I'm dancing in the rain, South Florida. There's a hurricane coming tomorrow, but this is going to be a tropical storm. Edith, thank you. Love to you and your son. You did the right thing for your family. You're doing the right thing. You're a hardworking woman. You're going to figure out your next step in life. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you for that tip. Edith, the Trumpers I work with are freaking out. They don't understand that the president being Dem and the Senate leading Republicans may actually be a good combination. Biden will work with all of them. He will. And statistically, that's when our country does the best. Democratic president, Republican Senate. And Biden knows how to play the game. They know how to play the game. So, guys, they're all on the take. Trump was on the take. They're all on the take. Who cares? Everyone's on the take. You guys are stealing toilet paper from your job. Guys, everyone's a fucking scam artist. But don't make our lives worse, okay? Just sit there, play nice, once in a while give a speech, try to, put some policies in place to make life progressively better for the citizens, and that's it. We don't need this whole fucking game. It was a disaster. It really was. Bone Thug, the troller. I remember the troll era is over. Trolls are now blocked. They can thumbs down. They can go on Twitter. But guys, Trump is blocked from Twitter, basically. Thank God. Thank God Alex Jones is gone. Alex Jones pandered to all the mentally ill with conspiracy theories. Then, when he got taken to court, he said, well, I'm just an entertainer. It was actually the paranoid people on YouTube who made me go too wild on the Sandy Hook shooting. So the trolls will mislead you. They'll get you fired from your job, and then you'll end up in a court of law, and you'll have to blame it on the trolls. Trolling is dead. Okay. And they have been left where they belong. Blocked, exiled. Now, good debate on good policy is a great thing. That's why it's great. We got a Senate Republicans and we got Democrats. Let's debate shit. Okay. But trolling, being disrespectful, not giving people their dignity and empathy is a disgrace. It's a troll. I don't want to know about unemployment numbers, just. Okay. That's like saying, yeah, I gave this prostitute $200, okay? But I damn near raped her. Okay. What I could tell you, guys, how you treat people and the level of empathy you have, to a certain extent, matters, guys. I mean, come on. Okay. And, good job. Bone Thug. The troll ever will never end. Well, there's always going to be Judas here. You are correct in that, brother. Haters going to hate. And that's an excellent comment. You are totally right. But there is a sigh of relief, not just from Melania Trump, but from Americans in the world. The good people can rest knowing that, look, humanity moved forward. Okay. America moved forward. 200 years ago in America, there were slaves. Women weren't speaking. Even 70 years ago, very much like that. Okay. But in 2020, through good people sacrificing, speaking up, we're in a better place. I truly believe we took a step backwards with Donald Trump. But I truly believe sometimes you got to go back to your ex to realize that's not the way. You knew it. You knew it. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can go back and live with your abusive husband or your controlling father and get an inheritance. And the unemployment rate is low. But if you got to be disrespected, if you got to be controlled, nothing's worth that. Nothing's worth your dignity. And that's not the way a leader should lead. It's not the way a manager should be. Not the way you can have policy that you like and that you're going to be firm on, but you can never be. There'll always be that character in this world. I agree. But the good people have progressively made the world better. 3,000 years ago, we were crucifying people. So humans do and can change. However, it usually takes generations. But each generation adds its value. Okay. Guys, 100 years from now, guys, the robots are going to be doing all the work. Everyone's going to have a UBI, universal basic. Everyone's going to have universal health care. Like now it's not a shock that transgenders can get married. Okay. Guys, 10 years ago, being a transgender getting married, you couldn't do that. Okay. In 100 years, you're going to be marrying a robot. You're going to have a robot dog. I can't wait. I won't be around. Guys, I'll be dead in 100 years. No one is bigger. Okay? No one. Life goes on without you. It's what you leave behind. What did Donald Trump leave behind? Division, nastiness, a recurring pattern in his life, whether it's the Central Park 5, his divorces, his bankrupt businesses, a pattern. He left a legacy of shit, of trolling. And it's a disgrace to him, his family, and everyone who turned a blind eye. Now, do I hope he gets into heaven? Guys, look, that's God's job, okay? But I tell you, I don't fuck with him, okay? Now, if he got elected again, what would I tell you to do? Look, deal with it. Be a positive and productive citizen, because in another 4 years, you get someone else, okay? I still always have said, I'm still grateful to be an American. I'm still grateful to be in a first world country. But I also still think that's not enough to just say that. We also have to proactively put in policy, if we're the wealthiest country in the world, why is healthcare the number one cause of bankruptcy? If Donald Trump can claim bankruptcy, why can't college loan debt claim bankruptcy? Okay. If Barack Obama had to show his birth certificate, why doesn't Donald Trump have to show his tax returns? What type of people are we dealing with? It matters, guys. It matters. Thank you. ESP. Donald Trump wants to stay in the White House to avoid the big house. He's not relieved. Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever go to jail. Probably not. I mean, technically, in my opinion, George Bush Jr. should be in jail for war crimes because the war in Iraq has been proven that it was under false pretense. So I think George Bush should be in jail way before Donald Trump. Okay. And so even though I think George Bush may be a nice guy, he's got better character, but what he did was bad stuff. And so, you know, I still think in my mind, I could be wrong, I think Donald Trump's relieved, man. For him, he'll start a news media company. He'll be bigger than ever. But there'll be a certain, like, when he had The Apprentice, there were people of all political spectrums that enjoyed his entertainment. Now, there's a certain group of people, more than half the country, because again, more than half the country voted for Hillary, way more than half the country voted for Biden. So there's a certain percentage of society now that will never fuck with Trump. And there's a certain amount of people now, because of the way the last 4 years, the worst divisive president ever, they're never going to fuck with certain family members, certain friends. They're done. Because there's been shit that's happened. You can never go back now. And like, you don't think about that. All those relationships that, look, Donald Trump's not responsible if you decide to have an argument with someone, but like how he fanned the flames of division as a president, not as an entertainer, as a president, it was hurtful, to say the least. And look, guys, like, in your own life, do what you want. You want to get divorced, you want to do this. But when you're a manager, when you're a director, when you're a president, you don't have that liberty. You have to think about the well-being of not just yourself, but those who you're in charge of. That matters. Like sometimes you guys, like, I know you're just joking with me. I know you're giving me also a gracious comment. You say, Sam for president. And I tell you guys usually straight up, like, look, I don't even know if I could really honestly accept that, because one is I'd have to gear myself to be willing to sacrifice certain things in my personal life for the betterment of not just what I want to do, but what everyone wants to do. So you say, well, Donald Trump sacrificed. Guys, he willingly ran, and some say he only ran to gain more promotion because he's been quoted to say there's no bad publicity. So when you make that quote, what you're basically saying is, I don't care if I cause bad shit, as long as I get publicity. That's a sociopath. Okay. See, I care, not that I get bad publicity, but I care that if I'm going to take on something, that I'm going to be able to do it in a good way for not just myself, but for those around me. Okay. There was a job I was offered one time when I was trying to get a remote job. There was a gracious guy. I got denied for my first application for a remote job, but I got offered a job in California. And I thought about it because it was like a warm climate, but my dream was not really California, it was Florida. And I gave it 48 hours. I told, let me think about it for 48 hours. So I gave it a couple days. And I came to the conclusion was, it wouldn't be a good fit for me, and I wouldn't be able to do the job properly because I would need to be committed to California long term, or at least for a certain extent, for me to be effective for the people I'd be managing. And I wasn't. So, like, it's a small example, but I remember thinking about that because it's not just about me getting a job. It's about how much do I want to take on a responsibility that's not going to just affect me, but other people. Now, if you accept a job that you're just kind of working on your own, then, whatever. But if you accept a job as like an on-site manager and you're responsible for 5 people or whatever, you affect their lives. You're going to tell me your direct manager doesn't affect your life? The number one reason people quit their job is their direct manager. Your direct manager matters so much in your life. Your stress levels, your levels of maybe getting acknowledged for what you do, how you feel about yourself. Some people need opportunity and encouragement. Some people need help. Some people you maybe got to be a little bit firm. But there's not, guys, you have an influence on life. See, like a troll became obsessed when they found out, like if I click the thumbs down, I'm noticed. If I spam the live feed, well, they're not doing it anymore, I'm noticed. Because they really, you can say, well, they just want to be heard. No, because I've let the troll put their voice, but their voice is not a healthy voice. There's a time and place for that voice, but not in my personal life. I blocked trolls in my real life. I blocked my father. My father voted for Trump. Did I block him because he voted for Trump? No, I blocked him because he had that Trump mindset of spitefulness. You can never troll your way to love. You say, well, I don't want to be loved. Well, guys, look, you do you. But I tell you right now, I don't want any trolls as friends, okay? And not in real life and not online. And you guys know it, I say it often. Guys, I could have a bigger channel. But I made a decision that my channel is either going to be healthy for me, I'll keep it small and only people want to fuck with me. And if it grows, grows. If it doesn't, I shut it down. And I'm very grateful for all my members because I know you don't have to support me. I know you got your own shit going on. I don't take people for granted, but I also don't hold shit over your guys' heads. I tell you, you want to be a member, I'm very grateful. If you don't, I understand. If you want to cancel, you guys do what you got to do. I never sit up here and I never cry the blues. I never give you guilt trips. I never put demands. I'm very grateful for the support, but at the same time, I always make a note to say, look, you have to consciously do this on the side if you want to do it the way I'm doing it, because to be able to live in a level of truth, okay, is only in certain avenues. Okay? Like you can't live in your truth to a certain extent when you're at your job because you're paid to be a professional. You're paid to get along with people from all political parties, all different working styles, and figure out solutions to tasks. Any job, whether you work construction or whether you work corporate, the purpose of all jobs are to work with people to figure out solutions to complete tasks. Whether it's running underground PVC pipe, whether it's designing a building, whether it's engineering IT deployment. You are paid to get along with people to form solutions to complete tasks. When you're an entertainer and being a YouTuber's lover entertainer, you could say, if you're going to make, you're kind of paid to be whoever you want to be. You want to be a gay nomad. You want to be a fans-only stripper. You want to be a pandering Bob Wells, or do you want to be I masturbate in a sock inspirational nomad? You could be whoever you want. There's different protocols for different jobs, different temperaments, boundaries. All right, good job. All right, guys, thank you for being patient with me tonight. I know I'm long-winded. Coconuts, winning was the easy part. Now, Biden has to get rid of the virus and make the economy grow. In the stock market to go to new highs. Biden has a lot on his plate. Yep, and hold him accountable. And if Biden doesn't do the job, bash him and vote him out. Why? Because, guys, I'm not a flag-waving Democrat. What I am is, look, I can't turn a blind eye to the way Trump led. And I tend to vote progressive, but I think it's a good thing that you got a Republican Senate and a Democratic president. Let's see how it plays out. Again, if it doesn't play out good, vote him out. One thing I'm encouraged about, look, I don't think you'll ever see a guy like Trump again, thank God. Well, at least not for a long time as a president. Why? The pain will be remembered for a long time. For a generation. Okay. So you're going to get another Republican president in your lifetime, that's fine. You're going to get, but what I can tell you is, guys, presidents matter. I'm 40 years old, and every president that's been in office, there's been a different America. Okay, presidents matter. However, even if they're a Democrat, if they don't do the job, vote them out. Now, do I think all the presidents are controlled by the powers to be? Sure, a little bit. However, guys, that's life. But you don't want the president to go out of his way to divide more, to make more unrest. Okay, you want him to pander if he has to pander, talk direct if he needs to, but ultimately keep the peace Okay. And ultimately, just plug along. Okay. Good job. Edith, I don't know much about Melania, but she was the least productive first lady. It is because Trump shut her down, so she wouldn't steal any of his thunder. No, I don't think so. I think she married Donald Trump for citizenship, for not just herself, but her family, because he was obviously rich and successful, and she's a dollhouse woman. She's a showpiece, or she was. Now she got, plastic surgery. She's in her 50s. She's not that banging. So that's her style. She's not, but she was complicit. You know what I mean? She's the type of person where she did what she needed to do to secure herself, and I'm not mad at her. But, look, her and her children and all the Trumps, other than his one daughter that you never hear from, that remember that he said supposedly he didn't want to take a picture with because she was overweight, but that, I don't know if that's fact. But all his children, guys, his children, bad people. Ivanka Trump was the one that told Donald Trump to rubber bullet the protesters in front of the White House so he can stand in front of the church with the upside down Bible. That was Ivanka Trump's idea. She's a piece of shit. Donald Trump Jr.'s, both of them, they killed animals. They're fucking animal hunters for sport, not for food. And they both got horrible history with their wives. They've been divorced. They're a piece of shit. So I think, Melania is just another piece of shit. Okay. Why? Because look, she kept her mouth shut. Okay. And guys, like MLK said, you're going to remember the silence of your friends. Okay. More than your enemies. Okay. You're going to remember the silence of your friends. So, guys, you're going to remember that shit. I know I do. But look, I don't know, man. It's a tough thing, man, but I think about how abuse is able to continue. Think about abuse. There's two parts of abuse that allow it to continue. The abuser and the enabler. You got to have both components. An abuser, a troll by himself, cannot do anything. It requires an enabler. Hitler by himself could not do anything. It required enablers. Okay. A sexual assault continued in a house requires enablers. No abuse can continue without enablers. And I saw that even in my family. Look, I've seen it. And remember, every time you see an abusive person in power, there's a reason. Enablers. And it's sad. Ted Cruz is an enabler. Mitch McConnell, enabler. I remember when Bill Clinton was a piece of shit for getting a blowjob in the White House. And that was the worst thing he did. And I don't know, man. It's interesting. Edith, I bet there are going to be some juicy tell-all books that will come out and the presidency now that he is out of office. There's been a lot of books that came out. I think, but to me, it's like at this point, I think even a lot of the Trumpers I knew, they knew Donald Trump was a piece of shit when they voted for him. They were just so offended by the NFL players taking a knee. They were offended by the common bathrooms in South Carolina, and that's why they voted for Trump. There's two reasons that Trump got voted for. The NFL players taking a knee, and in South Carolina, there was supposedly going to be shared bathrooms, common bathrooms, and that was so offensive. That was the major reason, because it wasn't a stock market. Stock market was at an all-time high when Trump got in. It wasn't the economy. Economy wasn't in a recession. It wasn't a war. We weren't at wars. What was it? It was spite. Okay. It was spite. That was the reason Trump got elected, spite and division. Because there was no other reason. Okay. Let's continue. ESP. I hope not, Edith. I've already read just about every Trump book. Yeah, I know you got the latest one that has come out. It's a I'm not gonna say it's right. Complosion. I cannot read one. Oh, compulsion. I just finished the one Cohen wrote. That's his ex-lawyer. Everyone around him, guys, high turnover rate. That's true. Upscale, what's up, brother? Upscale's a good man. Upscale's helping everyone out in South Florida. You're a good man, brother. Good riddance, Ivanka. Yeah, I called her out. Jared, yep, both scumbags. Upscale, you're a good person. I hope you're still in here. Shout to guys, I'm in Florida, voted Republican, but very close race. And I've seen a lot of Biden flags. So in Florida and in New Jersey, I saw more, other than South Carolina, I saw a lot of Biden flags. Okay, so not just the Trumpers anymore, because you can only push good people so far. And they ain't going to take that shit either. Upscale, Alaska is still counting votes. What's wrong with them? Well, ESP is from Alaska. They get the petroleum dividend. There's a lot of conservatives up there. In a lot of the rural lands, it tends to be conservative because there's a lack of diversity. There's a lack of education. Doesn't mean they're not great places, but that's the fact, So when you don't grow up with extreme... Guys, how many minorities are in Alaska? How many educational institutions are in Alaska? Not many. Okay. So it's all based on the culture. Culture is a result of your history. However, you can have a very diverse area, okay, that still disagrees with you on policy. As an example, South Florida in Dade County, Miami, there was a lot of votes for Trump. Why? Because a lot of the Cubans, who are a minority group, they vote for Trump because the Republicans tend to favor the amnesty for Cubans to be able to come to America without having to go through the immigration policy. Because like when we were trying to get, when we were trying to take over Cuba, or when we were having like beef with Cuba big time, we were basically allowing a level of refugees to come in, and there was a lot of politics behind that. So a lot of the Cuban vote, which is a minority vote, they vote conservative because of that reason. They feel like that's, their group that's going to help them. So that's based on policy. So it doesn't mean there's not great people in the country. It's not a bad point, but look, farmers are subsidized by the federal government. Farmers are on welfare. Okay, let's be honest. Farmers are the reason that we had a civil war. Why? They wanted cheap slave labor. Okay. So there's a culture there. When you have a piece of land that's been handed down to you from generations, there's a culture. Okay. And look, American history is a culture of you don't ask, you take. Okay. We didn't ask the Native Americans, can we have this land? We took it. Okay. We didn't ask them, did you want to convert to Christianity? We made them or we killed them. Okay. And only in the past 50 years did we grant equal rights to minorities and women. Women are minorities. So it's not like America has this long history. Like I know in your lifetime, you may be like around my age, 40 or 20 or 30. And you may say, oh, look, it's nothing for me to see a gay person or a black person or a Puerto Rican person. Yeah, guys, that's just in our lifetime. Okay. In Donald Trump's lifetime, he grew up, there was still segregation. That's why you think he had a mindset of certain Central Park 5. He grew up in a different time. Now, so did Joe Biden. Joe Biden's older than Donald Trump. However, guys, there were people protesting for civil rights, and there were people trying to oppress the protesters, okay? There were people trying to rubber bullet the protesters. There was two different mindsets, okay? So, as I tell you, it is what it is, okay? Let's take hydration break. Let's continue. ESP, she's from Alaska. She's a black person. She goes, we are absolute, and a woman, so two minority sect. So here you got NVRV bucking all odds, okay? A black woman from Alaska living in her van. Now she's running Airbnb. So why am I saying that? So guys, you know that through the internet, even rural parts of the country are now interconnected, globalized, and more informed. Now, I'm not saying I'm giving you all the information. I'm just one blip on the screen. I'm giving you some information, some opinion. You got to cross-reference all literature throughout history. But what I'm trying to say is just by being in this chat room, right, You got people from all over the country, all over the world. You got different races, you got different religions, you got different genders, you got, we've had plenty of transgenders in here. Guys, when I first started my channel, guys, a lot of gay guys wanted to get with me. I was okay with it, but I'm not going to get with them. But we're in a different world, okay? So, like, guys, 30 years ago, you, like, a man getting dressed up as a woman going into the woman's bathroom, that was blasphemy. Now, I don't care, just don't bother me. Lock the door. Why? Because, guys, now we're more connected than ever. You're in Alaska. You know, ESP's sitting there, it's -1. She's in her Airbnb. If it wasn't for the internet, ESP would be sheltered. She wouldn't know anything other than what Sarah Palin told her. Why? Because, guys, before Amazon, she couldn't even get books. Like, guys, how do you think Alaska got, you had to, like, fly shit in? What happened before the airplane? Guys, Alaska was all the way out there, man. Big difference. ESP. But Alaska doesn't have, she goes, Alaska's the slowest state when it comes to counting. It's cold as hell up there. She goes, but Alaska doesn't have a lot of delegates. Small population, not a key state. Okay. Let's go back to live comments. Oh, Gringo, what's up, man? At work driving, all by myself. I can listen, but I can't chat too. Well, brother, thank you for leaving that one chat. Drive safe, get that money back, liquidate the assets, stay close to the border. That's what you like. And what I can tell you, brother, is follow the compass of your inspiration. Why? Because you know that you have to keep showing up, keep liquidating, and keep pushing forward, brother. That's your best life. Good job. Damn, I read all live comments. I was ready to go another 2 hours. What else can I tell you? Well, I feel relieved. I don't feel like, you know, look, I don't feel like the world's going to necessarily like just change overnight. But I just think we'll go in a better direction. It won't be a perfect direction. And again, if Joe Biden doesn't do his thing, and then he gets voted out. Powers to be will always be there, but human nature gets progressively better. And human history shows us that. And it's not a spike in the face to the Trumpers. And there are some good people that still like Trump. I'm not mad at them. I am mad at the people that they know damn well they was never about shit, and they still ain't about shit. But I don't want, look, guys, I just don't want to talk about politics every day. I don't want Trump to be in the news every day bothering people. Just shut the fuck up, pass some laws, and let us live our life. We didn't want to talk to our controlling father. We didn't want to talk to our abusive boyfriend. We don't want to talk to Trump. Let the Trumpers get together on an online chat and troll themselves. Why? Because there's a certain amount of us that want to be left the fuck alone in a positive vibe, and what, you know, and that's it. Okay. So guys, the troll era is over. Block, delete, cut out of your life, cut inheritance out of your life. Why? Because if you got to cut Donald Trump out of your life, you know he ain't going to leave you shit. Why? Because he doesn't really care about you as a child. He just wants you to obey him. And that's fucking bullshit. Edith. It's so true what you say about the lack of diversity in conservative states. A lot of Idaho is very white and rural. When I worked there, there are only 2 black employees in the mix of about 800. Yeah, it's just statistics. That's just what it is. A good comment. And look, like a lot of times people bash San Francisco and all that. Why don't they bash South Carolina and Alabama and Mississippi? Some of the poorest, highest levels of poverty are in conservative states. The liberal states tend to be the economic drivers of the economy. Guys, Google came from California. DoorDash came from California. Uber came from California. Donald Trump came from New York City. Joe Biden came from Delaware. Steve Jobs, California. Tesla, California. So guys, look, if it wasn't for a lot of these liberal states innovating, the farmers wouldn't have government subsidies. Now, we still need our farmers, but let it be known, even during the coronavirus, we allowed immigrants to come here to work on the farms. Why? Because they said Americans don't want their jobs. Why don't Americans want their jobs? Because they play slave labor. Okay. And they damn sure don't want the minimum wage to go up. Okay. And it's hard work. So we want to keep immigrants out until they got to tend our fields. So what I could tell you is there's a lot of hypocrisy. But what I could tell you is humans go forward. And what I could tell you is 3 million more people voted for Hillary and a lot more voted for Joe Biden. And not everyone that voted for Donald Trump is a deplorable. But what I could tell you is I don't know why anyone would take joy. There's some people that take joy in calling themselves an asshole. Like my father used to say, I know I'm an asshole, I don't care. Well, I do care. What type of person says, I know I'm an asshole, I don't care? What type of person says that? Like, that's what I tell you guys, I don't care who it is. I don't want to be friends with that type of person. Because, guys, life is hard enough. I don't want to be friends with someone who loves to be an asshole. I want to be friends with someone who wants to try to be better. Okay. Edith, at least on my little street, most had Biden signs, praise the Lord. I've seen a lot of Biden signs, guys, even here in Florida, man. At least my neighbors have a brain. Yeah, look, Biden may not have a brain, but at least he's shows decency. Okay. And what I can tell you is this, guys, that's what we need right now. Decency. We need to be able to do our jobs, have our relationships with our loved ones, and not be bothered every night by some other dramatic bullshit. Okay. So that's the good thing. That even though we went through 4 years of craziness, at the end we saw people that they're not going to take too much of that, you know. So look, we all need each other. Trumpers and Bideners, we need each other. Well, look, we're all in this country together, okay? And all the firefighters that voted for Trump, guys, you need government assistance. You need government checks. The police officers, you work for the taxpayers, okay? We all need each other, okay? The military officers, your government employees, we all need each other. Now, you fight for us. You should be saluted. I know, guys, I work with some guys. I give them a lot of respect. They fought, and they fought in the big wars, okay? And they're great people. Positive people. And I give everyone respect, guys. I mean, I'm on YouTube. Sometimes I'm very boisterous. But most people who know me in real life, they're, look, guys, I give people respect of all walks. Now, if people ain't shit, I don't bother them. I say, I don't go fuck with them. I don't try to change. See, like, sometimes you say to me, inspirational nomad, you say people change, but I don't believe you. Well, I understand that. Like, I thought, like, I could find common ground with my father or other people, and I tried for years to ignore some things, but it never stops. And I'm okay with people being imperfect, but I don't want to be around nasty people. I know, like my man Bowling Thug said, nasty people will always exist. I agree, but I don't want to be friends with them. I'll work with anyone as long as they're not doing something immoral. But in my personal life, guys, I want positive vibes. I want fairness, equality. I want empathy. Okay? Okay. I want a referee to just basically, you know, not have to be heard from every play. Every day, we don't need this dramatic tweeting storm. Once in a while, yeah, you got to step up. Not every day. Why? Because, guys, we got other shit in our lives. I got this one female used to watch me. She's older, too. I think she's in her 50s or 60s. Her daughter left her house. Okay. And she's by herself. She's getting evicted or kicked out or whatever. And I know she's scared. And she's a positive person. Maybe she voted for Trump because I know she's from Alabama. But I know she don't like me no more because I did memberships. Well, I got to do. Okay. I got to manage my time. But I still care about her. Now, I don't fuck with her no more. Not because of just the membership, but yeah, I think she got a little bit nasty with me for no reason. But I understand she was upset. But I think about her. She wants positive vibes only. Even though she got in a fight with a couple people on my channel, I let her slide a little bit. So she's a little nasty. But I love her, I know. But you know, she knows. She's talking about she don't know why she gets blocked. You know why you get blocked. You're a little nasty. But I care about her. I still pray for her, man. Like, I was watching one of her videos the other day. I don't comment anymore because we ain't YouTube friends no more. Just because, you know. But I watched the video. I just pray for her. I said, Lord, help her. She'll be all right. She's a fighter. She's a survivor. Feel bad, man. I think there's been some families that have been unnecessarily, you know, fuel was just thrown on the fire for publicity. And there was a lot of people that got hurt these past 4 years, man. And it wasn't worth the Dow Jones. Why? Because, guys, the only reason Dow Jones is back to all-time high is because of stimulus, not because of policy. So, if we were going to subsidize the stock market, we might as well have had universal health care, no family fighting, no political riots, because we should have just had someone pandering then. If we were already going to, the only reason we're still not is because, guys, where are we getting all our medical supplies? Still from China? Trade deficit worse? I don't know. Edith, I'm impressed that Biden got more votes than any other candidate in history. Yeah, of course, you saw Trump tweet that he got more votes as a sitting president than any other person. I'll tell you, he's a prideful bastard. It's true. Well, pride comes before the fall. Kanye West is done too, man. I still think Kanye goes to heaven because he made Jesus walks, and I remember that helped me when I was outside of a strip club in Rahway, New Jersey. But I know Kim Kardashian, she's going to divorce him eventually. She's embarrassed. I hate to say it. Now, I don't blame him because he's got bad mental health, but that type of person should never be in power. He even made a song. Kanye West made a song that no person should have all this power. Imagine working for Kanye West. He'd be the same as working for Trump. He's a terrorist. I don't know, man. I think Donald Trump hurt Kanye West. Why? Look, when Kanye West got up in front of Taylor Swift, Barack Obama called him a jackass. That was wrong. Donald Trump would have said, yeah, good job, Kanye. Basically, egged on, telling it how it is. There's a time, even when a family member has a mental illness, you have to say that's unacceptable behavior. You can't hurt other people just because you want to lash out. Kanye West had no right to grab that mic in front of Taylor Swift. Barack Obama was right. He's a jackass. Guys, there's no excuse. They say Hitler had a mental disability. Well, guys, there's no excuse for what he did. Just because you have a mental disability doesn't give you a right to be a troll. And if you cannot respect others, you should be locked up. So, that's where the troll era is done. The excuse that you have a right to fucking be guys, you don't have that right to be hurtful in your own personal space. That's your shit. In a society, you have to respect society. I still can't believe when we're in a common area indoors, people are unwilling to wear their mask. Guys, it's like the people who still want to smoke cigarettes indoors. Guys, look, it is what it is, even if you don't believe in the virus. It's not your house. It's a common house. Troll era is done. The Biden era begins. But it's really not the Biden era. Okay. It's really just an era back to a level of civility. There'll still be political disagreements. There'll still be racial issues. There'll still be riots. You're never going to get away from any of that. Because, guys, in Iraq, okay, it's majority Muslim. They're all the same race, but it's Sunni versus Shiite. Why? Because, guys, humans are tribal, not unified. To be unified is to be unified in a spiritual realm. It's like a miracle. Division is human nature. Okay? Like if it said Rwanda, guys, look, all Africans, different tribal mindset. Rwanda, in Africa, 1 million people died in a couple months. In the 90s. So it's not, division will always be here. Okay? No matter what country, what race, what religion. Because it's something within the human nature. However, whatever human nature, whatever religion, ethnicity, gender, humans do progressively figure out how to coexist better. And what was once thought as doing the right thing by killing people of other tribes or killing people of other religions, that was once considered doing the right thing. Now that's looked at through education, through diversity, through experience, that's the wrong way. And there's never excuse to be that troll. Whether you got a mental disability or not, there's no excuse for that. And there should never be an excuse for that. Edith, oh dear. All that rain I hear is making me want to go to sleep. Well, my live feed's a little long too. As I listen to the rain in the video, yeah. Well, I'll do a video tomorrow, Edith. I'm in South Florida, so we're gonna get some of that Hurricane Ida or whatever. So tomorrow's live feed, I'll be in Ida storm. Okay. I only think we're gonna get a tropical storm, but I'll be broadcasting from Hurricane Center. So, and maybe I get some more views. I love you, Edith. Thank you again, Edith, for that super chat. Thank you for all my viewers. Thank you, Old Gringo. Thank you, Coconuts. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Bowling Thug. Thank you, ESP. Thank you, Upscale. You're a good man. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. Don't take you for granted. Do what you need to do for you. Thank you for your love, and thank you for your support. Continue to push forward in your life. Remember, like I always tell you, and I have been telling you, I tell myself, the president matters, but what matters even more than that is you do the work of your life. You be a good worker. You be a good person. Take care of your health. You're not responsible for everyone, but, you know, in a common area, you treat common respect in your personal life, live how you want, okay? And, you know, just take care of yourself, okay? Peace.